بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. شكرا لكم جميعا على الحضور اليوم. Today we have one of our great leaders, Soraka Al Alkhatib, and we will actually want to know more about Soraka, and we'll open the discussions برضو Q&A at the end. So أهلا Soraka.
حبيبنا.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being the leader's mic today. And I will start with the usual first question. Tell us about Soraka, the person.
I had the opportunity to cheat. I've witnessed whoever did the first sessions. And I really praise you, Awalan, for this event in itself. It's really showing the vulnerability of the leaders that we see. And that's the beauty of the leader's mic. You really see the person behind it. And the second part that I cheated, where I looked into your three questions. Simply, the human, the leader, and the authority. Who are you as a person? And who is your leader, and how did you develop your traits? And the more I'm listening to people's stories, you really resonate. That's what made us who we are, uncommon leaders towards a common objective. We believe in this country. And the third, the authority, and that's where I come within am I good at, or what's my authority in any shape or form. So Soraka, as a person, my mother is from Medina, Beit Tarabzuni, my father from Mecca, Beit Al-Khatib, جدي سفير أيام الملك عبد العزيز. So it comes from عائلة سفراء وعلم ودين. كان he has ركن الشافعي في المسجد الحرم, Sayyid Abdul Hamid Al-Khatib. So we were raised, religion was a big part of our upbringing. Then we moved to boarding schools في مصر, Victoria College. So from second grade, ثاني ابتدائي, that's where we moved to boarding school. So me, my brother Qaswara, and my younger Rawaha. So we were three, and that by itself was the first experience of really being alone and independent. For أولى ابتدائي, ثاني ابتدائي, ثالثة ابتدائي. The three of us, Kartin, and that's where we were to boarding schools. But I think that was definitely a defining moment in our lives, the ability to be, first, depend on each other, كأخوان. We knew that we had each other. That's the only way we can survive it. Being young في العمر, but close from each other. So Qaswar is like my Irish twin, same year. He's in Jan, I'm in December. So that made us even closer on that front. But we knew that the only way to survive the dynamics of boarding schools is sticking together as brothers. من هنا the journey started. Came in high school from بدر الشاملة, 2 years and a half, 4.9 out of 5. And it's always, so where do I go from here? To me, life was back then, هندسة طب, that's the choices you have. So there wasn't a lot of thinking. But then هندسة even, electronics and communications هي الأصعب, so هم الأشطر, so go electronics and communication. Yet I had deep inside of me the computer engineering. I loved that part. But I said, if it's everybody's second job, why should it be my first job? Go for electronics. خلصت. P&G happens to was the first business company that I joined. And I believe that was a real pivotal point in my career, because P&G was really an excellent business school to really help understand the business economics and understand what is it all about. But I think then, it starts hitting me, what do I want? And that question, honestly, I didn't have an answer for it back then. But I said, then I need to figure out, but how would I move forward in my career, where P&G was an aftermath, i.e. being an engineer, went there, but I really don't know. And the question I start raising, so in 5-10 years, what would I be? A plant manager? Not undermining that, but it's not the end of it. I felt there is a more calling to it, that I don't want to get stuck here, but I don't know where to go. So I remember a friend of mine, مشبب اليامي, الله يذكره بالخير. So he was أكبر مننا في السن, but same thing as a line manager, and he started teaching me about reading books and getting into those articles. And there I read an article from Fortune 500 talking about job surfing. And it was saying, back in the days, if you stay in a certain job, your career is a linear career. But if you go job surfing every 3 to 5 years, you jump to another position, another company, that's where your value starts raising. But to me, the question was in P&G, there was a career path. You sit with your direct manager, your short-term assignment, long-term assignment. So somebody was helping you in the career. And I knew back then if I left P&G, literally this, I recall one of the guys, I told him, I just lift up my sword and I'm going to venture out. How? I'll figure it out. But the intention is, here I felt there's nothing more to learn. I made it to the department manager, fine, but I don't see it's progressing. So I decided to venture out and go into my own career and figure things out in mind, where the whole thing I took in mind, develop muscles and skills that complement you till you figure out what do you want. So P&G was the leadership aspect, beautiful, learned a lot of, it was another assignment, just another assignment. So you take assignments. So in those, I took 3 to 4 assignments. So you get to change a boss, change assignment, change everything. So you get to understand what is it like to be mobile and if you will, adaptive. Then when I left, it was purely by coincidence where a friend of mine, his brother is working with Setco, and they were looking for somebody to establish the real estate department. Barry, I know nothing of real estate, nor of local business. I'm an engineer by graduation, so nothing resonates with me. But to me, the only thing that really I wanted to move into business. I wanted to get this side of the fence where in the plant, I was responsible on the operations. Line number 1, look at Misk, it became the 9 consecutive months الأول على المصنع, and it was the oldest line. So they thought even it was, because it's the oldest, we'll never get these numbers. But it was to me a wake up. I managed to do all this through team leadership. That's where I came about, is how to empower people to deliver on it. And then that gave me the power to say, and I can do it anywhere I could go. So when Setco came, they wanted me to market or start the Endorsed project حقهم. I went, checked, and I said, guys, this is not marketing, that's sales. I'm not interested, I want to move into marketing. That's where I want to move in. Nevertheless, I'll write you a paper of what is marketing in real estate should look like. You don't have to. I said, well, I'm doing it for myself. And I talked to a couple of friends here. A friend of mine, Allah يذكره بالخير, بيدرس كان الماستers in real estate in the US, called upon him, what's real estate? Just tell me. So made my research. Qaswara told me about marketing, just put 3-4 pages and handed over for them. I said, guys, this is the roadmap. At least will help you to understand what is marketing, what is sales, and how would you put it in a real estate context. 6 months passed, and they called me and said, well, your paper did the magic thing. Nobody, we did a lot of interviews, nobody really clicked, and we'd like to hire you. And whatever you want, we're willing to set it with you. I mean, it's a green slate. And to me, that was, let's say, Shab 27. So to me, that was just the beauty of knowing what's your market value. And I knew back in P&G, beautiful school, but no, I want to move into business. And there I'm going to get into my comfort zone. So I started applying for MBAs and approached Setco, said, if I didn't like it, pull the plug, go continue your MBA. Back, I had only, Allah يحميهم, Rebal or Ranad. Now Rebal is 31, Allah يحفظه, and وعنده نوح. ورند, she's 27, عندها باسم ومريم.
ما شاء الله.
And then عندي سادن is 24, ومحمد is 22, وعواب اللي هو is 14. So من هنا لما لقيت Setco took 2 years, honestly, it was like I was أقفل الباب على نفسي أقول, what the hell did I do to myself? It's a totally different environment, but it took 2 years, honestly, till the family believed in me, i.e. trusted that this ولد الصغير ده is saying something right. And once you earn their trust, حق يقال, they treat me like a family member. يعني لا زال علاقتي بيهم كل الاحترام والود إلى الآن. Long story, that's where I started في literally من شراء الطاولة والترابيزة to set up the marketing department in real estate from scratch. So did a lot of books, P&G, nothing is hard. What's the end in mind? Where you are, put the strategy, end of game. And that's where it started, developed the real estate from nothing to 30, 40 employees, almost $500 million worth of sales in readjusting and calibrating the assets under management, لأنه كانوا دوبهم formulating. And then an opportunity, come and handle the real estate asset management and property management. And I felt here, I left the plant, now going back, I don't want to go there, not anymore. And I had a good meeting with the Sheikh Saleh Haqiqal. He said, no, we believe in you and we want to give you a lateral move before you move vertical. So expand your horizon. I said, I trust them, honestly. So I went there, and it was after understanding, developing the whole marketing aspect. Now we went into property management, asset management. That is another layer of a relationship. In the disposition of real estate, you just hand it over, it's sold, it's done. Now there's a relationship. you need to maintain. So that took another dimension of a relationship that I had to develop. And again, from there I went to business development, the head of business development, where I moved إلى the corporate mother Setco, i.e., if you will. And that's where responsible كان على Red Sea Mall as a development director and Iwan Al Farida. So this is where I start capitalizing on my experience in the real estate domain, but going beyond now into the business development, really starting to put things together and really create projects like Red Sea Mall and how it would be a regional shopping center and the whole dynamics of it, and develop the whole pricing strategy, leasing strategy. So it was a beautiful hands-on experience really to put the dynamics of how would you really develop this product. Now, that's almost 9 years in Setco, and I always, it was every 5 years, that's where I sit and question, okay, is it happening or what's next? And I think over the 9th year, that's where I felt I'm plateauing. What's more? There's no challenge. I've been there, done that, but then once it turns to be eat, pray, and just sleep and go to work, I can't take it. And that's where I felt I really am asking what's next. And at the time where the mortgage banking was about to start. So the NCB was the آخر bank, the last bank to offer mortgage, and it was the outlier. الباقي كله already developed, they have their positioning, and they start approaching me and venture with us into establishing the real estate mortgage finance. Okay, to me that was the beauty in it that attracted me honestly, that there's something that I don't know, but nobody knows. So since we all don't know, let's figure it out together. But I'm capitalizing on the leadership muscle, the real estate muscle that I've developed together. So it was all about building muscles and then start walking on the road with the peer. It will all come together at one point in time. Now going to NCB, even Setco back in the days, in very good terms, they tried to keep me around. But my challenge was, and I had another opportunity with King Abdullah Economic City as Chief Commercial Officer. My concern in those positions, I'll be narrowing too early in my career, where I believe it's too premature to narrow myself down. I think I can still explore more. So that's why I turned it down, went to NCB, where at Setco I was a man of the year, at the same time higher pay, and I took the decision to go to NCB, lower pay, one of 5,000. But I believe that this is a good stepping stone for me to help me widen my perspective. So if I want to go to banking, I have the opportunity. If I want to go back to real estate, I have. If I want to go to development. So honestly, the thinking back then was widening till I really figure it out. I'm still not clear what is it that I want. I inherit those skills. I'm building on them, but I'm still figuring out my North Star. NCB was محطة من المحطات. Went with them in SIAD program, and Nasser. So it was the executives of the bank. We went into a beautiful executive education program. Loved it, did my executive MBA from London Business School while I was working on developing the mortgage product of the NCB, well, the last bank. So introduced McKinsey to work with me on the go-to-market strategy. The beauty of it, the market kind of bit of down. So literally, أطلع أخذ course, come back. So what's the pricing strategy? So how to develop and it was literally enjoying the game till we developed the value proposition, boom, launched the product. What's next? I'm not a banker. And it was good to develop the product, but still, I'm not a banker. What is it? During the MBA, I got to know JLL, Jones Lang LaSalle, and I knew him back from Setco as we asset management for the assets under management. So why don't I join consultancy? And I knew there's an SME concept, special matter expert, so I don't have to start the ladder all the way from an analyst. I was way above that in terms of age. So, and there's a position that you can go directly as the managing partner and as an SME. So it started with JLL, and then that's where I joined them as country head to establish the Jeddah office, overseeing the capital markets, valuation, and strategic consultancy. Beautiful. Now, this is for the first time I felt, okay, I'm back to the P&G environment. Okay, now it's a breather, somebody who can talk my language. But there was the challenge where Dubai was the center, and Jeddah or Saudi office is kind of a remote office. And then how to really establish the presence of Saudi, that Saudis do have what it takes. It's not we're just the front office over here and just business development and everything's done out of Dubai. So I started to change that, became a spokesperson in the brand, Cityscape, collected the directors over there and made understanding KSA market for them to understand what is the market in Saudi and what's the potential in it. 2 years were beautiful. I loved the experience. But then Qaswara and myself we established a couple of companies in the media industry, starting from Full Stop Advertising Agency, Made in Saudi Production House, Sleep Studios, Photography and CGIs, Go Digital back in the days, and U-Turn. So U-Turn was the young kid on the block, that where it really starts creating a hype in the market, and it just took everybody by surprise, honestly. And that's where I felt maybe I've been all grounded all those years to be ready to put hands with my brother Qaswar and really take this company to new frontiers. And that's where I resigned, and I went all the way entrepreneurial, 1 year no salary. I said, this is the real deal. Let's just really help the company go from small size to medium size through institutionalizing the operation. Because again, as an entrepreneur, we had a lot of companies, but now how to really put structure to it. So how to put the right governance model, the right, if you will, HR standards, the audits, the likes, and we're really targeting here top-notch investors, locally or from elsewhere. And we had a lot of offers actually from the US. Everybody starts bumping into us, and it was like, whoa, this is whatever is happening is too fast on us, and let's really figure it out. We were ahead of the market where everything did not exist. I mean, I was back in the days vice chair for Uqal Angel Investments, for SIRB as an angel investor. So we were trying to set the whole ecosystem where it did not exist. And we had our own challenges. The market peaked, hyped, it was beautiful. Again, market dropped. Funding was a big challenge. So 5 years we were always trying to, it's a moving target. And over the 5 years, we're trying, what is the revenue model? We started with an MPN or MCN, multi-channel network. Then we moved an MPN, multi-platform network. And we kept, and even we were visited by Facebook, by the, YouTube, Snapchat. Everybody's trying to educate us, what is this industry? So we went, had أنا وقصر أخذنا tour for the US, visiting back in the days the YouTube, the Facebooks, just to understand the economics of the business and how to set it up. We became Endeavor Entrepreneurs, so that was the Hype 2014, the EY Entrepreneur of the Year, where we went to Cannes to present the Saudi Arabia over there in Cannes. All the way we went to become Endeavor Entrepreneur. And I think over here, that's where we said, okay, now what's our proper exit strategy? Endeavor helped us at least now here to fund the first round of investment. We brought about a VC and the French Sovereign Fund and a technical partner, which is Webedia, the largest in Europe. And over here now, we're getting somebody who really knows how the industry operates. We really need to, we're really exploring the industry, but we need somebody who really knows the verticals and what's the revenue model and how it's operated. So that's where we looked for that investor. We brought the French Sovereign Fund and Webedia. And from here, khalas, we brought them board, M&A, et cetera, et cetera. The question then raised, okay, so once I put it, what is it that I want? Now it's about to figure things out. I said, ديك الأيام, what's happening for the government is honestly something يعني يدعو للفخر. And those who lived back in the days, we know what's the transformation that's taking place. And I want to be part of that. And that's what I decided then the best thing is to go back to government or consultancy. Government was an excellent opportunity because لما مسكت فترة full stop and transforming it from a conventional agency to a digital agency, we handled وزارة الإسكان and we did their logo, identity revamp. We changed the whole equity حقتهم. ومعالي الوزير knows me back and then when I was in JLL, so he knows me as a real estate person and a marketeer. And that's where they offered me to join as the Director General, overseeing the public-private partnerships, the real estate development, and secondary program. So this was the first encounter with the government entities. So it was really a beautiful time to get in to understand the intricacies of the vision. What is a vision? What's a vision? VRP? What's a VRO? What is the NTP? How does this connect to that? Where is the country going and how we're really making this massive transformation? So it really gave me a beautiful bird's eye view to capitalize on my real estate background, but now from a policy point of view. How is the developers? How to incentivize them? What's the incentives really to complete the full capital cycle of the country? From where do we fund المشاريع هذه? So اللي هي even صكوك من برا. So you really had to see the big perspective. Beautiful, learned a lot, but I felt the pace is not my pace. I still rather serve from a consultancy. So that's where I decided to move. And back then, I think 2017, McKinsey acquired Elixir. So I joined them, I think 2018. So they're just 1 year from the acquisition. So it was best of both breeds. Elixir is an implementation consultant that really I'm so proud of what they did. They are a benchmark when it came زي ما احنا كنا في U-turn ولا في دولة. When it comes to consultancy, Elixir, they were the agency that really set everything from scratch, from a Saudi company, because they had a strong belief. So joining them was an excellent opportunity, implementation consultants, backed up by McKinsey. And now I get to see whatever I witness in the real estate, housing, Ministry of Housing, now I get to see over a course of 4 years in 4 different engagement, or 5 different engagement, but different ministries. So here you get to see now, okay, how am I implementing that challenge in this ministry? And then you get to see a more understanding how you're really driving the momentum. And that was beautiful, honestly, just to see now the dynamics. And honestly, everything that's happening to Darras, the kingdom, how they led the transformation to Darras, across board, state of the art. And that's the beauty of what I've seen. And that, I think, the beauty in McKinsey was pushing me to, first thing, what's the impact you're creating? That's how we look into projects, not what's the monetary value. Actually, we drop a lot of projects. The whole intention is, what's the impact? What's the purpose? What are you making a difference? And that resonated with me. And then I start thinking, wait, so after 4 years working in different engagement, alhamdulillah, we made massive transformation للأمور, alhamdulillah, that we're seeing now. But the question became, so what is Soraka? What do I want to make a difference? Well, back then I started thinking about education. I think education to me is the segment or sector that still is not disrupted, but we need it. That's a big احتياج في المجتمع. So to me, I start thinking, okay, just putting the intention, how can I move into an education sector and make a difference في المجال هذا? And I was thinking NFT, أطلع أمريكا, do في الميتافيرس. So I was just doing my research. But at that point of time, just I think having the right intention, I had a call from Misk, where they approached me. They're looking for a CEO for Science Discovery and Innovation Center. Back in the days حتى ما كان اسمه الترم ده، احنا طلعنا بالستراتيجي، بس هو كان علمي, which the متحف Science Discovery. That's اللي حق part of the subsidiary حق Misk. It was a beautiful project. لما دخلت فيه, the first challenge I was asked by the board is, how would museums look like post-pandemic? Post-pandemic. And launch the product. But answer the question, what the museum's role post-pandemic? Pandemic, and to me that was the wake-up call when I start understanding what's happening in the world. It really starts resonating, and that's where it's taking me to how can we really make a difference? The pandemic, to me, it is a trauma that people are sucked into, and until now, not a lot of people woke up from that trauma. فترة البانديميك اللي عمره 10 سنين, who's 10 years old, by the age of 6, he's living in solitude. He's living behind the screen. He got programmed. لما تيجي الحين نشوف الافريج سكرين تايم اللي عمره 14, الورلد افريج سكرين تايم is 6 hours, المملكة is 7 hours. Let's say 8 hours, بينام 8 ساعات, 8 hours بابا بعمل مدرسة, the whole interface مع المجتمع. So جيله أصبح 50% of his information is through the screen, and through the screen لما دخلنا في mass customization because of the digital era, أصبح بيخش في rabbit hole. So I give him, you want flat earthers? You've got flat earthers. Whatever you want. So بدأ يخش 50% of him in the matrix, 50% in real life. في زماننا احنا الفيس تو فيس قد كده والنولج قد كده. في زمانهم الفيس تو فيسز قد كده بس النولج قد كده. بس it's distorted knowledge because of the screen time. So من هنا لما بديت اشوف الميوزيومز how did they evolve and what is the intention of them, it came about that المراحل اللي مر فيها المجتمع, agriculture era, industrial era, digital era, وداخلين دحين في الفورث era. كل واحدة كان فيها inflection point, and each inflection point changed the socio-economics. agriculture era, land, بريطانيا العظمى لا تغيب عنها الشمس. inflection point, industrial revolution, طاحت الارض تحولت الى البترول, دول طلعت. بس you want mass production, so you create schools, schools to programming. دخلنا في التكنولوجي, بدينا في الروبوتس, that's where we impacted اللي blue collars. بعدين شوي we moved الويب 2.0, which is the social cloud هناك with a revenue model مبني على الدعاية والإعلان. 6 companies own the world because they own the data. And that is to me لما دخلنا في الثيرد inflection point اللي بعد البانديميك which is حرب عالمية ثالثة بدون حرب where people got الآن programmed behind the screen. أصبح الصراع ما بين ال 2.0 where the companies own your data and الداتا أصبح سبب الثراء. So not anymore petrol, it's data. And once data, we're manipulated. And this is the fight now, how to move to Web 3.0 where not anymore data is owned. That's where you decentralize the data. But then how to make money for that. So لقيت المشكلة اللي بديت هنا في علمي ركزنا على science discovery and innovation. That's the new term. لأنه المتاحف كانت curation بعدين أصبح exploration فترة الأوبنهايمر والexploratoriums and everybody got in limbo ما حد عارف ايش بعدها. To me we coined the term في المملكة قلنا اللي science discovery and innovation because that is the difference الآن. It becomes the social cultural hubs. That is the intention of the modern science centers. So this is where we sought forward. وبعدين that's where I decided or I left them actually after 1 year لأنه fulfilled the objectives and I figured out الآن what is my North Star. And that to me the North Star الآن is how can I help the Gen Zs to cross the chasm and by enabling honestly the world at large to be awakened for the pandemics if you will traumas that we're going in. So I'm calling for الآن a campaign اللي هي Earth Reflection Day زي Earth Hour where we disconnect from electricity for 1 hour. الآن I want to start a movement Earth Reflection Day where we have 1 day everybody disconnects from technology totally. عملت الحسبة it will cost 7 billion a day. But we need to do that for one thing, to reflect between the person behind the mirror, the true you, and the avatar. That's now where people كل اللي شايفينه الآن is the avatar. And that's where I'm dedicating myself for this mission. And I'm writing accordingly عليها 3 books. The birth of the person behind the mirror, a human transformation journey where بشرح فيها ال tree of life will 7 commandments of how to navigate in life where you're anchored in faith, grounded in values with a clear North Star. وبعمل عليها transformation journey to help الشباب دول how to cross the chasm. الكتاب الثاني is the birth of the avatar where I'm explaining the avatar. People ما انتبه ترى we're all this is the first time we're seeing but I know you all through the avatar because the 99.9% I see the avatar and 0.001% what I see you in reality. So that's the real person to me and I don't know you. I'm just getting to know you. So here I'm explaining the avatar and the complexity of the avatar and how it's now becoming part of our everyday life. Saudi Airlines now created their AI. We're moving towards, we're becoming an avatars, companies are avatars, products are avatars. How we're going to interact with each other? How would we understand reality from virtual? There's a blend, and that's what I want awaken everybody to stop and understand. You're the person. That's the avatar.
Then that's one of the main reasons we created Leaders Mic, by the way. عشان to meet كده in person, face to face, and to get to know the leaders and to get to know each other كده in a closer manner زي ما بيقولوا. صراحة you answered كل questions. أيوة حسيت إنه الكاميرا عندك بس anyway. I'll take you back بس لشيء مهم maybe throughout the story ما شاء الله عليك you're a great storyteller. I will take you back to the leadership aspect and I want to ask the question again of what you from your perspective what do you think إنه shaped you as a leader? You mentioned in the beginning كنت في boarding school كل الكلام ده. Do you think this is the real reason or the event that shaped you as a leader or you think there are more events that you want to talk about?
I believe that
you're asking a lot of why, what's next, how did you come into this conclusion of asking what's next, what's next, why?
P&G, I think that was a pivotal point, honestly, in my career. لأنه I think first the crowd of people that you connect to as like Zaid and with the 20-30 years really like-minded people who are very ambitious and they're best of breed. And I think this was the moment where you're connecting to like-minded people and then you're looking into different behaviors, and then leadership was a big aspect where they give us a lot of center mind on leadership, books, development. So I think this was the moment that it really opened my eyes on leadership as a granular scale. And then they push us in terms of educating each other. So we have one session every month on leaders, and everybody starts talking about the leadership model that he read. I think, and here I start, saying, what is my leadership model? What would I bring about all those learnings and bring about and put them in one perspective? So here I came up with the 7 commandments, الوصايا السبع. So when my son Rebal تخرج من high school, what better gift that I give him other than وصايا? That's the best I can give him. إنه أوصي يعني how would he manage him? And to me في الوصايا دي حاولت أحط my 7 commandments. If I want to give him a roadmap to navigate in life, these would be my 7 commandments. الأولى بقول له الحياة رحلة ومحطات. So the first thing, my perspective in leadership, life is a journey, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going uphill actually. If you really think about it, you're going downhill. Every day passes by you. So بقول the world is flat. It's not ليس الوصول إلى قمة التلة ده يعني هو ده النجاح. تخطي ذلك الجبل الشاهق، ولكن النجاح هو انك كل رحله لها محطاتها ولها تحدياتها، and all you have to do is just navigate. So this is where I came with the philosophy always to break your life into 3 and 5s. Don't think beyond that. Beyond that, it's too far-fetched. Just 3 and 5s. All you need is those 3 to 5 years, and then you take it to the next. Start walking on the road with a peer. فالحياه رحله ومحطات، والانسان مواقف وافعال. Walk the talk. So that was the second. And you really need to be a man of action. You don't have all the answers, but at least be a man of action or a person of action. Get things done. بعدين دخلت القرارات. What is decisions? ولقيت القرارات تضحيات بين أولويات. القرارات is not what you want. القرار is what you letting go. That's the real decision. هنا اللي بتضحي فيه is the real قرار. But what do we want in terms of priorities? We want everything. But then changing the mindset is what are you willing to let go? That's your real decision. والقيادة سبب ومسؤولية. And always I look upon leadership is the responsibility, the ability to choose your response. And that by itself تتنبك إنه you have a say in it. And it depends, تعتمد الفراغ هذا on the self-awareness, independent will, and your consciousness and your imagination. And سبب ومسؤولية. المسؤولية اللي فيها دائما بقول if you have objective, your leadership is something to serve you, that's for you. Leadership when it really عندك سبب you want to lead ومسؤولية تجاه المجتمع اللي حوالينك. That's where leadership evolves. It doesn't need, then you don't need the authority because you stand by the cause. وهنا تيجي السعادة، اللي بعد السعادة رضا وقناعة. When I start looking into what is happiness, I read multiple books. فعجبتني أبسطهم إنه تبدأ بpleasure الحسي, then it moves to passion where you lose yourself in time doing something you like. Then it moves to purpose. And that's where you really find your grounding, your purpose. So to me, that's where you connect القيادة with إنه عندك سبب مسؤولية، والسبب حاجة إنه you have a purpose that you stand for. And that would give you the fulfillment of happiness that you're seeking. وآخر شيء بختم فيها والتوفيق من عند الله. So do everything and get grounded in faith and just have faith. إنه في النهاية الله يرد لك الخير، أنت تجهله، لكن هو لمصلحتك وأنت ما تعرف كيف. لأنك you don't know الزمن. Sometimes يقول فشل، بعتبر نفسه as a leader مثلا أنا فشلت في دي أو ما. You just took الزمن too early. Maybe زمنك مو دحين. Maybe it's لسه كمان سنة سنتين. Who gave you the right to decide أو تحكم على الناس يقول now it was the time for it. Maybe it's later. Maybe some time. So to me هذه الوصايا السبع is to me بديتها من PNG و I wrote it لما كنت في سيتكو.
إيش اللي خلاك تفكر فيها؟
There was a lot of leadership trainings وفي هناك ال 3 E's والمش there was a lot of models and I wanted to figure out which one suits me. فبديت
Why 7? Why not مثلا 5?
I think number 7 always has its catchy thing. You can always remember it.
أنا أحب number 7 أصلاً. Okay.
But that's
number 7 اليوم أخذت الجائزة ونمبر 17 أخذ جائزة
It has an energy, I think number 7.
Okay. طيب great والله.
يمكن لما لو أضيف عليه لما قلت what is the authority يمكن السؤال الأخير. What would I be known for? وسألت السؤال قلت it's not what am I an authority in. What is my calling or what's my mission then that will drive what I'll work for. And هنا لما قلت okay, so helping the Gen Zs and really helping to create that. But then in what shape or form? And that's where I came up with a term, I called it the corporate nomad. And that's the best thing that I felt really represents me through my whole career. I'm a corporate nomad. And what does corporate nomad means? قسمتها إلى 3 حاجات. لقيت اللي هي transformation leadership. That's during my whole story. It's just always about helping people to transform. Corporate entrepreneur. I went into from corporation setting في سيتكو الإدارة بتاعه في البنك الأهلي setting الإدارة. I've just kept on setting things up. That's where a corporate entrepreneur. حتى when I went to the full-fledged entrepreneur, أي المجموعة عندنا full stop و-U-turn وخلافه. And the third, which is the destination marketing. And I think that is where I pulled all my real estate background from the 30 years of experience. I have 17 in real estate and I have 12 in comms. So putting them together, that's why I felt destination marketing is something that I can capitalize and now trying to put those those things together. And that's where I'm looking now, how can I crystallize them now with a clear North Star to capitalize on destination marketing, corporate entrepreneurship, and transformation leadership as a corporate nomad in this world.
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. Fruitful journey, great story. متى البوكس؟
Synopses are written. I'm sharing it with friends على الكي topics. So yeah, I'm working on them. حاط نفسي إن شاء الله at least one of them 24 بأمر الله. This is part of the revolution. The first one, the person behind the mirror, the human transformation journey.
طيب خلاص. We'll do you the cover design.
All right.
خلاص.
Thanks حبيبي.
عشان we want you to accelerate كده and to start it very quickly. طيب I think ما شاء الله قسورة يعني سراقة سوري قطة الأسماء ما شاء الله كمان أنتم يعني سراقة قسورة رواحة فكلها أسماء الأسود. Anyway, so I think we'll move to Q&A and leave the floor to our leaders to ask you questions. أول سؤال تفضل.
حبيبي نص.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Soraka, يعني I know we've been friends I think for over 40 years.
Yes. Yes.
Not to mention our age.
He's a grandpa already, mashallah.
And actually Soraka is one of the person, I'm sure you've realized that he's a person that you can learn from him and you can also look up to him. Soraka, I've noticed that you've mentioned a lot of aspects in your life, but I want you also to give a little background about your relation with Captain Saria. I'm Saria, your dad. You haven't mentioned him a lot in your story, so I think this is worth mentioning.
Yeah.
I'm sure it shaped your personality and leadership. So I want you just to give a little lights about your relation.
Yes, he's your father.
Yes. الوالد كابتن ساري, I think he is a pioneer ahead of his time. من الجيل السابق, so الحزم was big part of our upbringing. So boarding schools, these things were a big part of him addressing the discipline in us. But at the same time, when it came to personal, he never intervened. He gave us all the trust in the world. So هنا كانت الفاين line between how we're disciplined, respect, المورالity, الانضباط, الأمور دي. Yet when it comes to حريتك الشخصية, he doesn't get close at all. I think هنا ربى فينا الانجل حقت how do I abide by what is في society, but where is the fine line to say no, that's me. Society doesn't have to say anything in it. فthis is I think الباندويث اللي ادانا هي الثقة في نفسنا مع احترام بعض الضوابط. فين الضوابط الدينية, الأمور اللي هي الصح والغلط. بس beyond that سوي اللي في راسك. And he gave us that space. الحاجة الثانية, as he was ما شاء الله captain, بعدين went entrepreneurial. He was always at the forefront of his game wherever he goes. And I think هذا اللي تعلمناه منه, اللي whenever he gets into something he just masters it. He just masters it. يعني ما يسيب فيها anything. and جات فتره مثلا he wants to بيربي puppies وكلاب. فلتر كان عندنا 24 كلب في البيت معايا انا واخواني. بس when he went into that I recall again الجلده الكوره. he goes out there train الدوج for a couple of hours every day. دخل في السيارات ميكانيكس يفكفك ماكينه السياره ويركبها تاني. When he gets to something he goes just full hearted. And I think we learned منه definitely nothing is stopping him. He was always very explorative, very free in his thinking, and I think that was something. His confidence in himself and his capability I think really resonated معانا. And once he gets into something I think he masters it. فبحيث انه صرنا لما كل واحد فينا مثلا when can I move banking in etc. It's always taking this by انه once you get into a place either you're the best at it or don't get in from the first place. I mean go in, do your best and really be the best at it. I think هذه كانت النقطة اللي هي كان معاه الثقة بيننا وبينه كانت جدا عالية. على قد ما كان شدته في نقاط بس في نقاط تانية مثلا عمره ما يخش غرفة نوم انا فترة الشباب whatever we do خلاص لو دخل حتى شاف شيء غلط ولا كأنه شافه. انا دخلت في وقت انتم ما انتم فكان في التراست ليفل بيننا كانت جدا عالية. I think هذا اللي كانت الفاين لاين between we knew at the end of the day he was there and he believed in us. ساب لنا كل السبيس ادانا الباوندريز بس في المساحة الثانية he believed in us and he trusted us and he gave us all the freedom to be who we are. And I think this is what shaped us. Thank you, Ras.
Another question?
طيب يعطيك العافية صراحة يعني very interesting journey, very inspiring as well, very confusing as well. لأنه في بعض الأوقات في أسئلة كثيرة أعتقد أي شخص عادي ممكن ما يلاقي لها جواب سهل في الدايفرسيتي حقت الجيرني حقتك. وهذا يعني خلينا نقول رفع عندي سؤال إنه هل هذا الشيء كان مخطط ahead of time؟ هل أنت كنت predicting هذه الجيرني؟ were you planning like 5-10 years journey ahead وتقول أنا هذه المايلستونز حقتي اللي أبغى أحققها؟ ولا هل هي كانت مراحل أنت بتحس إنه خلاص it's time to make a change and create an impact somewhere else وما كانت كده مرتبة ومخططة ahead of time؟ هذا البارت الأول من السؤال. البارت الثاني فين حنشوف سراقة بعد 10 سنين من الآن نعيش إن شاء الله إحنا كلنا بخير وسعادة. يلا يعطيك العافية.
So the first one, it started with a question which says, this is not the place for me. I made it, but I don't see myself going further. وبدأت هنا with the article of Fortune 500, break your life into 3 to 5s. So to me it was just believing in these three principles. First, break it into 3 to 5 years. Second is nothing is rocket science. You'll figure it out. The third, where does this muscle, what is the next muscle that I need to develop? So P&G ادتني leadership, operational excellence. Setco تعلمت الريل estate, so understanding from marketing, asset management, the whole 9 yards for the industry. I needed البنك الاهلي لانه المورtgage was a missing muscle, the finance. So I went to the finance. JLL was okay, now I need to put a wrap around this mobility. Who am I? فكانت JLL is to put all this thing as a wrapper. So honestly ما كانت البلان واضحة بس كان الوضوح عندي انه every 3 to 5 years you have to make a decision. You cannot just stay status quo. You have to make up your mind and don't be afraid for wherever you're gonna go, capitalize on what you're at and sell it in a way to maximize where you're going. So from P&G to Setco got higher, paid higher لأنه P&G is worthwhile. من Setco ل NCB نزلت. It didn't matter for me because I needed that angle. من هنا ل JLL طلعت. So each one was always played. Is it now the muscle game or is it the payment game? And that's where I kept on playing in both of them. So it started with simply just believe in being stagnant is not a solution. 3 to 5 years is a good time to change. Change where, look into your skills and muscles, what you've developed, and put it into what is the missing muscle. You're going there not because you're good at it. You're going there because I want to learn it. So to me, that was the driving force. Not because I'm good, I'm going to learn and capitalize on what I brought with me as skills and capabilities. Where do I see myself in 10 years from now? بأمر الله, I see venturing further into the entrepreneurial domain. and specifically into Web 3.0, where I believe there's an immense opportunity to disrupt the world, honestly, at large in that domain. والمملكة is playing a beautiful role. Expo 2030, Expo وبعد عندك السبورتس فيفا 2034. داخلين بأمر الله 10 سنين of beautiful opportunities right, left and center. From an inbound of 40 to 50 million people will be visiting year on year. إذا ما بينه وبين اللي بعدها ال 34 ما بين ال real estate development اللي حتنضخ في البلد is in trillions. It's a totally different ball game. And I think the opportunity الآن is through the leaders. I still say لأنه we will be the ones who have the multiplier effect to pass on and create that impact. So in 10 years, بأمر الله, and to improve in the Web 3.0 and making an impact and helping the young generation, honestly, to cross the chasm. لأنه to me, الناس لسه في غيبوبة. I want to wake people to understand what's happening. So let's accept the inflection point, but let's really make the best of the world out there. Nobody's سابقنا. In this world, the house of cards بتتغير. So Saudi has a chance, inshallah, to make it.
Inshallah. Question? تفضل.
Bro, I don't know what to say. I mean, I always admired you, and we've been through similar journeys. We've been together in PNG, NCB, name it. I bet in different departments, but I honestly felt like I want to cry. Because I know Al-Khatib family, and I know the Trabzon family. But I never knew that you went to boarding school. Thinking of how hard it would be for me as a mother to let go of my 3 sons.
Yeah.
In a boarding school where there are no mobile phones, there is no FaceTime, when there is no internet. Can you tell us a little bit, if it's not, going into the privacy, of how your family handled that time of your life, how they made sure that you were all okay, and what you learned in parenting that you're currently applying to your children to give them what Captain Sari, Allah is giving to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely boarding school wasn't easy. And I remember back in the days نسافر على مصر كايرو بعدين أمي تاخد الجيتار Alexandria and she drops us there ومن الأحد للأحد that's where trunk so hey mama يا حبيبي literally من الأسبوع للأسبوع that's where we only listen to her voice and other than this you're just there. في الفترات الأولى كان فيها ما عندنا غير احنا مع بعض. I recall لما انزل هناك كنت الداخلي خلاص انا بطول في الناحيه الثانيه بابا وماما قرروا I'm going I don't have a say in it it is what it is. اوصل افتح الداخلي اخش go to the bathroom ابكي اصحى done عندك سنه كامله it is what it is live with it you have your brothers and that's it. So كانت definitely فيها الصعوبه دي لكن as I grew I recognized the benefits of it. لأنه to me always بابا وماما is always the safe haven. So it was okay في المدرسة لما تخابط مع الأستاذ ولا whatever بس مع بابا وماما ما أقدر أرد. So this was actually a good I can talk I can speak my mind هناك at least with that. قوت أخوتنا مع بعض بلا شك. And then بس I learned from it إنه definitely الداخلي is a good thing. Maybe it depends على الage bracket. فرسلت أولادي داخلي. بس رسلتهم from 9th grade and 10th grade. That's where at least في ضوابط معينة انحطت and then you gave them the opportunity to go and shape their personalities. قبل كده yeah we were too young. It was with that يعني لما نرجع البلد we speak Egyptian اللغة حقتنا and it wasn't بسهولة هناك you get easily mocked by your accent but it was hard إنه sticking to this but I think this اللي pushed us to know who we are being again sad where do you come from so حتى لو اللغة مو مساعداك so how to understand who you are from all this and get grounded we definitely لمت اخوتنا مع بعض كتير ولكن يا الداخلي was داخلي it was من بداية I recall واحد اولى ابتدائي انا الثانية فنخلص الفسحه وفسحه مختلفه، اجري بس عشان نروح بسرعه اطمن على ارواحها. ابو ابتدائي ده ايش بيسوي لوحده؟ فهاد جست جو اطمن على ارواحها اللي بس يور اوكي. فيا كان فيها الصعوبات حقت الداخل دي.
questions؟ طيب I guess ما شاء الله تبارك الله أثريت الجلسة كلها في your journey and your story. Thank you so much for صراحة being our mic leaders today. And
thank you Ziad, thank you Dina.
we wish you all the best and great success إن شاء الله.
Beautiful initiative. الله يديكم العافية. And I'm sure كل واحد من القادة هنا كل ما بسمع الستوري not any less if not even better. لأنه I think this is the beauty of what made all this group become who we are. Is each one has his own uniqueness that he brings this value out of respect and pride, بس في نفس الوقت out of really uniqueness in its own self. So thank you for giving me the chance.